Hey y'all, what's up? It's Michelle. I'm back. I actually went live a little bit ago. So I'm back and I'm actually doing a fun live thing. I had gone live chatting about how these next couple weeks are going to be a little difficult. Okay, let's see. We'll read it again, just in case you're checking this first. Many are going to be sick, hoarse, exhausted, sleeping a lot, thirsty, irritable, confused. Changes in how and what you receive, not sure what steps to take for now. So let's concentrate on how to pull the energies rather than push. So, something that Spirit is guiding me to do is to go live and share a couple different ways where you can stay out of the mind and fall into your heart. Okay, and so I'm going to share a couple ways to do that that are not meditation. Okay, because really it's all about keeping your hands busy, creating while you're waiting. And essentially, that's what we're all doing over these next couple weeks. So let's dive into a couple things. Maybe you'll start something new. This year, I started something new. I found a couple journals that were really cheap on Timu, I think. And when I received them, I was going to turn them into like a junk journal, which is another idea that I'm going to share with you. But so I had six of these journals, and I'm like, what to do? So I don't know about you, but I have found that I use a journal. I've been using journals for years. I basically write down everything, right? And here's my journal, like for messages and things like that. So now I've kind of compartmentalized, and this is just like for me. This is kind of like my little diary. And so I've turned it into more of a little artistic. So I don't ever try to challenge myself to do something on the daily. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm not going to set myself up for failure, okay? But I do try to come into this journal on the daily just to put down some thoughts, but more to also use it for expression. So I thought I'd kind of walk through it. I thought it might be fun to get some ideas because there's no wrong way. And what I have found is just doing little things. This started out as a tutorial, but this was actually something that started out and went into so much more. But it started out as a little picture for a lunch note for Jordan's lunch for my 12-year-old. Do you want to say hi, sweetie? Oh, surprise. She doesn't want to say hi. Okay. So, hello from the other side. So, it's just something that I put in my journal. That was something I was working on. I sketched it on a. Oh, you want to say hi? She wants to say hi. Bend down a little.
Hi.
So, what do you guys think of her bangs? What do you
They're
think?
not good right now. Hold on.
They look pretty good, sweetheart. So, hi, everybody. This is Jordan, my youngest. And so, yeah, well, they're not here yet. So this is what I sketched for her. And then, go ahead, sweetheart. And then what was interesting is that actually led to many pages of inspired thought, all because of that drawing. And it actually led to some channeled messages, some clarity, some learning, and it wasn't something that I was trying to do, okay? It's just something that flowed. Now, here's another little art project I put in here. Just some squares, the colors. I have found for me, and this is just for me, but I have found that by using these different little expression and being drawn to, so like this past year, I'm drawn to mandalas for some reason. So I just started. This is my very first one. You'll notice here's the Nautilus and Passion Flower. So this is actually the meditation I'm going to do at the end of the month. This is basically the art form of what the actual medicine does. So you can just kind of check that out. Isn't that cool? And so this is something that I was led to do. Okay. And oftentimes I try to come in here. Sometimes I find other pieces of art that I recreate. It doesn't have to be something, it's just something you're drawn to. So I was doing this, and as I was putting on paper, the colors, I was led to the colors and everything. Spirit was talking to me as I was kind of in this art meditative practice. And then look at all of a sudden, I have all these things coming in. This was something I was having a very nervous day. I was just really feeling like, okay, like at this particular time, I was dealing really with just kind of like not anxiety, not depression, but our truck has been down. I kind of feel like everything has stopped. So instead of getting lost in what does that mean and the anxiety and the fear it is, instead, I took some markers and just drew a bunch of circles. Look at what a bunch of circles can lead to. Anybody can draw a circle. Okay, so these are just ways, and then I started playing with watercolors. That's something new I've started, and so here I was just using the leftover paint, and so I chose that as an expression. And it's interesting. This is a month ago, and I'm just going to read a journal entry here. These colors seem so relevant. The green, the orange, the browns, the reds, the yellow. It reminds me of the Ring of Fire plant, which I wrote. This is what this is, the Ring of Fire plant. And which reminds me of the Ring of Fire area in the Pacific Ocean. Lemuria, light the way, teach to reach. A reflection, and then it was just a reflection on something I had previously been exposed to. So as I'm in this, like, keeping my hands busy in this journal, which I'm using some art and expression, I'm expressing and taking what's really in my heart and allowing it to come through onto the paper. And I found it's been so helpful. Okay, it's been so helpful. Here's an actual um, neurogenic art. Okay, and this you can see everywhere. You just squiggle. You just do squiggles. I encourage you to think of a word that's on your mind when you're kind of stressed out and you just want to get out of your head. You just do squiggles, and wherever the lines cross, you kind of curve. And it's just a meditative practice to kind of get out of your head. And what happens is you pretty much find that what seems very chaotic starts to order itself. Okay. Starts to come out, starts to relax. Okay. So I've always kind of been a doodler. Okay. When I take notes. And I've always been a writer. Here's another Mandela, which this is another one. Red Poppy and Garnet is going to be another attunement coming up on these next several months. So yeah, just like check that out. Like, what does that say to you? I hope you can feel some emotions in there. I hope you can feel the elements. So it's just a beautiful expression that's just mine. It's only mine. And there's no rhythm, there's no wrong way, okay? But I have found, I wouldn't say, I have been working in art for a little bit, but I wouldn't say that I'm like trained or anything. This was inspired by a plant, and look at, because I drew this, I actually had a monstera leaf, and I created this. I drew it on the paper by tracing the leaf. And then I had like this meditation come through. So it's just kind of interesting. And then that continued. And if you've heard of a monstera, today I'm inspired by a monstera. I might be saying that wrong. With holes as nature's, okay. And what's interesting is it has holes in its leaf, so that the sunlight can reach the lower leaves in the native rainforest. These are they're native to Mexico and Central America. This plant has aerial roots. So they climb on trees and thrive in bright indirect light. And that particular day, hey, what's up, Mary? I'm just kind of sharing a couple things that I've been doing to keep myself busy. Okay, little watercolor, little expression. And so here's another, just really kind of not really judging myself, just hoping every day that I can find a way just to express myself. This was what came through yesterday. This is really reflective of the energies we're dealing with and how they're overlapping, right? So this has been working for me. Now that's one way. How about reading? What are you reading? I just started The Catcher in the Rye. What are you reading? And I have to tell you, I don't know why I'm drawn to this book as I'm reading this book. I can see them right here. I really don't even know what this book is about. But I found it at a garage sale, and Spirit, I said, I feel like I want to read a book. Is there something I can learn from? And Spirit brought me to this book. So this is what I'm reading. What are you reading? Are you reading a book? I'm also reading Hunger Games with Jordan. We read it at bedtime. So that's another book that I'm reading, but we're doing it together. This is another way I'm staying a little busy. This is an old planner, okay? And I've started decorating. This is what I'm kind of calling a junk journal. I never even heard of it before. You can Google it. There's no wrong way. But again, I'm transforming an old journal. So this is like an old appointment book journal. Those of you that follow might recognize this. So this is a piece of art that came in as Oracle. And it really kind of led to these junk journals. Okay. So I put that in there. And I'm just going to take you through because I think it's so fun. So here's a page. I'm going to kind of come down a little bit. There's actually no wrong way, okay? So this is just some form. This is everything here was made for me or I made. And I just put it together. Like here's a poem from a book. This is just really fun. I've got a couple secret passages. Let's see. Did that come out? Hold on. It's hard to look upside down. Oh, here it is. Okay. So this is kind of fun. I have a little message here that you can pull out that says bloom. So these little secret areas. And this is just really fun. A really great way to get out of my head. Let's go to the next page. This is just another page. This was one of my first watercolors. So I fell in love with the design and I did it on a grocery bag. And so then I became part of my junk journal. And look at just this little cute note, little reminders. Like I like to go through this. Be true to you. Just little reminders of how powerful it is to create. And so my goal with this particular is just that there's no regular paper. Look at, there's that neurogenic I told you about. It's just that nothing, I just like to fill the whole page. There's no wrong way, okay? These are just different papers, different themes, I guess I was led to. Here's another little note here. These are really fun, these little notes. Okay, what does this one say? Be you, unique and rare. So these are great little things. And I also have this little guy here. Look at this. Is just things that came to me in moments of creating, becoming. So these are different ways that you can keep your hands busy and you can really settle into what's in your heart and allow your heart to express. You know, not attached to what comes, right? Now, what was really fun about this particular time is my grandson comes over every Monday, and this was some watercolor. So he was painting, and so I put a little bit of Leo here. He's one, and over here, and just different things that I came across that particular week. I try to do it on the weekly. Here's another one. Now, I do something called 14 Days of Love. You may or may not have seen that. I've been doing that for ever since Jordan's been here. And it's just really been something, 2 weeks of where I really kind of focus on everybody else in my life so that because I always kind of get a little seasonally depressed. And so that's been something that I do. You might have seen me share some of that. Here's another little note. I love these little notes. Made from Victoria's Secret bag. And so this one says, don't ever forget how special you are. To your own self, be true. And so this is just expressions of my heart, different things. This is a watercolor exercise I did. A map of my heart was an exercise I did. This was something the family came over for dinner, and we drew hearts, and we all put something loving, something that we loved about that particular person. So this was mine that my family wrote on. I mean, this is just cherished moments. And so just, yeah, I'm a yeah. Just different words, different things. I had magazines. So just, there's really, and then here's a new page. So this is what it looks like before. And this is what it looks like after.
Ooh.
All right. So this is just another way. Now, what I'm trying to say is there's nothing you have to do. But if you find that you're feeling anxious, you're feeling stressed, the number one thing you can do is have some form of expression. For some of you, it's words. For some of you, it's poetry. For some of you, it's music. So whatever that is, I encourage you to bring it from your heart and using your hands, you bring that creativity to the earth plane and you manifest that. And if you can, share it, because there's nothing better than sharing your heart expression with one another. So I thought that I would share a couple of those things today that was on my heart. I look forward to what you're going to create, and I'm going to keep creating. I'm going to keep sharing in our community to encourage you to do that. Like I said, most of those drawings that you saw in my journal, I was inspired. Now, when I go on Facebook, what do you think I see? When I go into Reels, I see different things that I can do, and sometimes they inspire me, and I just recreate them. They don't all necessarily have to come from me. But I have found just the colors that I'm attracted to kind of help me explore what I'm feeling, kind of help me understand what's going on at that moment. And, the more that we can get things that are in, out, I think the more that we can grow more and more confident to create the world around us. And wouldn't it be great to create a world around you all based on your expression? I mean, to me, that is the ultimate success. And the material world has gotten in the way. So I'm not attached to, the amount of people that find this. I'm not attached. I mean, would I like to see my business take off? Yeah, I'd love it. But I'm attached to it? No. Because I create, and I like the attunements. Those all started with me. They helped me find my way, and can help others. But at the same point in time, that has to be what's on your heart, right? On your heart. So trust your instincts, create your world, enjoy the color, and see what comes. Challenge yourself to express next time you're feeling a little anxious. All right, we'll catch you on the flip. Have a great day.